All right, guys, let's get this party started. THORChain is a decentralized exchange that enables you to swap Bitcoin with thousands of other cryptocurrencies. All layer one native tokens. There are no bridges, there are no wrap tokens involved, and it's all within your self-custodial wallet. You are in charge. There is no KYC on THORChain. KYC means kill your customer. We do not do that. We'll never do that. And it is permissionless. THORChain's token is called RUNE. That's spelled RUNE, Romeo Uniform November Echo. You don't need to buy or hold RUNE in order to place a swap on THORChain, right? So if you start from, let's say, Bitcoin to Litecoin, the starting fees are taken from the starting asset, if that makes sense. So all the intermediary gas transactions start from Bitcoin. You do not need to hold RUNE. That's quite nice. However, the fees, are deducted from your swap and are used to buy RUNE. And this RUNE is the yield that goes to liquidity pools and nodes. There are no block rewards on THORChain. All of the yield is 100% yield. It is a beautiful thing. THORChain also has another token. It's called TCY. That's Tango Charlie Yankee. This token is kind of like a preferred stock, whereas 10% of the protocol's revenue goes to these token holders. If you deposited crypto into Savers or took out a loan on THORChain, make sure to claim your TCY tokens and you can start collecting this yield. And if you're interested in this asset, anyone can buy the TCY token as well. To swap, and this will change very soon, go to thorchain.org, click on swap, and you'll see all the wallets and websites that use THORChain, and you can choose the interface you want to use. THORChain is currently building its own interface. It's in beta right now, but I'm sure Kenton would love to talk more about that, so we'll move on. Rujira is the app layer on THORChain, and it's building essentially what is decentralized Binance, the real deal, what crypto should have always been, and it is the combination of THORChain and Rujira that makes that possible. It is our smart contract layer, and it's being rolled out actively as we speak. And speaking of Binance, if you hold RUNE on a centralized exchange, you need to withdraw that into self-custody. Get these tokens off centralized exchanges because the price of our asset can be manipulated up or down, right? We don't want manipulation. We want RUNE to be in THORChain as much as possible. And once in self-custody, you should consider bonding your RUNE to a node to earn some nice yield and help secure the network. And the best place to do that is runebond.com. Super easy. All you have to do is pick a node, request a whitelist, and then once you are approved, you bond your RUNE. Typically about 1,000 RUNE minimum. Get it done. You will not be disappointed. There's a THORChain community Discord and Telegram you can join to learn all about THORChain and make lots of new friends. And to find the links, go to @THORcommunity. Thor as in Tango, Hotel, Oscar, Romeo, THOR community @account on X. You guys, again, let's repost a space. Let's get some people in here. And if you're listening to this recording, do not worry. There is something in here for everyone, whether you are a stone cold veteran or brand spanking new. We will try to explain things in a way that accommodates the most amount of people. All right, guys, my name is Denny. I go by Patriot Sounds. I have been a content creator, educator for THORChain going on 5 years now, and I am so happy to get this party started. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to Kenton. Go ahead, Kenton.
Yeah, Kenton and Ralph Toes. I'm the founder and manager of the Use Your RUNE Fund. It's dedicated to investing in RUNE and running nodes on THORChain. So I'm a node operator and bond provider with THORChain. And part of being a node operator, I'm active in the governance of the protocol. And I push forward getting this new THORChain front end and marketing budget approved. So the front end is coming along. I'm sure most of you have seen it. We have the Unstoppable devs are working on it. That's why you see the Unstoppable URL. This is just a beta test site, guys. That's not the final URL. It's going to be swap.thorchain.org. We're just even, I don't know what's before beta. Like we're in Charlie version right now. But we need testers. Please try and break it, for what it is, right? I know there's missing, certain wallets and some things, but just play with it for what it is. And if anything needs to be fixed, if there's bugs, please let us know. The more people, the more eyes we have on it, the sooner we can fix everything, right? Because one guy can't see all the different things, right? Because we all use it differently. So your feedback is needed and welcomed. So that's on the go. And remember, guys, it's going to be the full site, like once it has everything done that everybody wants, is probably going to be January, right? It's going to be a slow rolled out. We should be live on the swap.thorchain.org relatively soon, but adding all the features and everything, right, is going to take a while. And especially like DEX segregation, that's probably going to take, a good 6 to 8 weeks type thing. And I really don't want to put any money into pay-per-click or pushing people to the website until the DEX segregation is done. Because, they come to the site, they can only trade 10 tokens and they'll leave, right? I want them to be able to trade everything type deal. Marketing stuff is coming along. It's good and bad in a sense. What's good is I'm finding like lots of people, firms that appear competent and can help. The bad is trying to decide between them. So Scorch and I have been in some meetings. We've been talking to each other. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a total plan in place. People brought on board and whatnot. But it's still going on. Still working on that. And yeah, though, so this space, talking about NFTs and art, I think it's eerily timely, because I don't know what everyone else's Twitter feed is like, but it's like politics like smacked in your face, right? And politics just divides people, but art brings people together. And so I think it's pretty cool. We're talking about art right now, and I've been pretty impressed with some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter with your guys' graphics, and that's really cool. And for those of you on the space, we're trying something new here. Patriot and I are on a video call with Corey, and we're going to try recording this. Well, we are recording the video, and Corey will be able to show us some of his artwork. And so we'll actually, whatever he's talking about, we'll actually be able to post it, and you'll see the live video, or the recorded video, sorry. So with that said, Corey, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us how you pronounce the name of your project, because we've all been dying to figure it out.
It's definitely a bit of a tongue twister. So yeah, everybody, my name's Corey. Most you probably know me as CT Butt on X or Telegram. I'm the co-founder of Galactic Mining Club and the founder of Einherjar, Guardians of Asgard. We added the taglines specifically because it's a Norse term that really doesn't translate well with an English pronunciation. But I mean, it goes with the theme of THORChain and the Norse mythology. So we thought it made sense to really dive in.
Einherjar, is that right? Einherjar.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. What does it mean?
It means army of one in Norse. So in the Norse mythology, the Einherjar were the best warriors on the battlefield, and when they were slain, the Valkyries took them to Valhalla, where they would train for the fight of the end of days of Ragnarok. So that's the mythology of like the best warriors that the Norse ever had, I guess, in their mythology. So we thought it really fit with the THORChain theme, and then of course the IBC Mafia's art has been second to none with what he's been pumping out for.
Cool, I love it. Do you mind if I share something quick? I don't know if you guys know, but Yusha, the name of my company, it's a Chinese word. This stands for, it means wandering vigilante, and so like someone with power who helps those in need. And in the West, that's like a knight errant, like the knights of the Round Table. And so I really like that. I think we all aspire to be something cool and admirable like that, right? So the Einherjar is kind of similar. So that's neat. I like that. So tell us about yourself, Corey, and what your background, how you got here, how you're starting this project.
Yeah, so I mean, I've definitely had a bit of a storied past in crypto. I've been around since 2017. Kind of that initial Bitcoin breaks 10K was kind of what got me in initially. So rode at that initial bear. Really kind of made a bunch of friends in the space. But coming into 2021, 2022, with Luna and course, going through that experience, just trying to recover after those significant losses, I met Hashimoto, who was he had actually was planning to launch Luna miners, and it was scheduled to launch 2 weeks after the Luna collapse. And that's what eventually became Galactic Mining Club. So we met in the fall of 2023. We started kind of hashing out where this was going to go. He had, at that point, had already met IBC Mafia, our artist, and he had been pumping out all new artwork. We had pivoted from, the idea of backing NFTs with Bitcoin and things like that. So, early 2024, we launched Galactic Mining Club. It minted out in 4.5 hours. And they're the first kind of NFT that was backed by Bitcoin. So and we're actually just rolling out the ability for people to burn and claim that, as well as take loans against the Bitcoin backing. So we're really trying to kind of innovate in what they call the NFTFi space, right? To put more value to an NFT than just the art. I mean, again, and I don't say just the art to minimize it, because the art's incredible. And, people kind of find their own, what they like and what kind of grabs them. It's been one of those great things to see, and I'm still seeing new pieces that I never saw before. But yeah, so it really kind of took us down this path, and unfortunately, Hashimoto passed away back in March.
Oh, sorry.
So no, thank you. So it was really unexpected. There'd been a lot of history there. So we're just kind of trying to keep, Galactic Mining Club going, and Einherjar is kind of the first, what we're calling an outpost collection. So it's kind of taking that initial theme of what we had with, having an NFT backed by hard assets, engaging in DeFi and other activities to generate rewards. And in this case, kind of doing it with what all that THORChain and Rujira has to offer, because I've personally been a big fan of the ecosystem for a long time. I think my first RUNE buys were back in 2018. So, I've really kind of, the last couple of years and seeing where things are going, I've really wanted to embrace that. And I think with this collection, it's really trying to bring this to a new level.
How the NFTs backed by Bitcoin? How does that work? Like, how's the Bitcoin custody? What blockchain is that on? Is it like a wrap token? How are you doing that?
So it's wrapped in at this time. So we initially launched on Terra. We migrated to Osmosis earlier this year. So what we have is basically we have L9 miners that do script mining that are in a hosting facility in Washington. So a portion of those weekly rewards are distributed to all our holders. A portion of it goes into this backing. So right now it's in an LP on Terra, earning 30-something%. But it's it's WBTC that is devoted to those 4,000 NFTs. Like we don't do anything with it except let it generate a little bit of APR. We're not putting it at any risk. It's there for the holders. And now, like I said, with the burn plan, of course, it's allowing them to unlock that and access it. But of course, with Rujira or something like that, it's definitely a much more easier process than having a wrap token and dealing with bridges.
Yeah, before we get into Rujira, I was curious. So the current setup, like, are you guys you control the keys to the pool of the WBTC on the pool, and then the NFT holders basically trust you?
Essentially, yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, so there's a team of there's 7 of us that are part of kind of like the council, quote unquote, of Galactic Mining Club, and so there's a number of multi-sig setups through DAO that governs the controlling of that backing and the other other treasury assets.
So maybe it's a good segue into Rujira and THORChain. Is there a way for you to bring those assets into THORChain and eliminate or remove your control and give more control to the NFT holders?
I mean, absolutely. There's definitely some avenues there. As we currently have, I believe it's like 40,000, 35, 40,000 in Bitcoin that's sitting there. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. If we can find a way to bring it to to a native Bitcoin, and we've got some devs that we're close with. I'm sure they could work up a few little tools that would allow instantaneous redemptions and things like that, and leaving them a bit more autonomous and not having that trust issue.
Yeah. But so, but for now, you're focused on Einherjar. Sorry. Say it again, please.
Einherjar.
Einherjar. So Einherjar is totally new. This is a new batch of NFTs, totally new launch, right?
Yes. Yeah. So instead of whereas Black Mining was doing the Bitcoin mining and paying out that, we're doing the yRUNE backing and paying out for DeFi and other activities on the platform.
And will that, if these NFTs are backed by tokens, again, are you guys are managing it, your DAO, or is that going to be all written in the smart contracts?
So again, initially it'll be definitely managed by the DAO and through a multi-sig. But the goal is to streamline and make this as autonomous as possible as the time goes on. Obviously, I'm not cash flow positive at this stage to be able to dev everything ahead of time, but the plan is to make sure we have these things dev'd out and have that process in place for an easier redemption as time goes on.
So what tokens do you want to back these by? You said yRUNE and what else?
Yes, so the primary token would be yRUNE that's backing the NFTs. I had a couple of meetings with JP over at NAMI and his team, and discussing some of those particulars in terms of how it can be an index token that'll grow over time, right? So it's giving you that RUNE and that TCY exposure versus just having kind of the RUNE backing and whether we're going to bond it or again, bonding it, locking it up. If there's a redemption process in place, that kind of churn out would make it more difficult. So the ease of claim is definitely something that we've had at the front of our mind as well. But then we're also going to, the goal is to have RUNE bonded to generate rewards, have Rujira stake to generate rewards, and have various DeFi plays across the ecosystem. My hope is once CFGI rolls out their trading bot onto THORChain, we'll be able to utilize that, put in stables, and let her trade. To at least do a portion of the DeFi trading to again generate rewards and pay out. The goal is monthly to holders.
So just remind people, what is yRUNE again?
yRUNE is the index token from NAMI protocol. So it's composed of 80% RUNE, or it's backed by 80% RUNE, 20% TCY. That's auto rebalance. So you kind of deal with benefiting from the price appreciation of RUNE or TCY, but it also arbs the pools, so it generates additional revenue by doing that arb. The initial yTCY tests that they did were 11% higher revenue generating than the traditional TCY. So it's giving you a little more opportunity for your tokens to gain value, especially for a backing token that's going to be a bit more idle than something we can actively use in DeFi.
So the 20% that's in TCY, the yield from that, where does that go?
So that's NAMI would probably be able to best answer that piece. So what happens is the RUNE that's yield goes back into the token. So the yRUNE value accrues based on the RUNE that comes from the TCY portion. Then they also, again, the auto rebalancing. So if TCY runs and all of a sudden it's 22% of the backing, that other 2% difference will be shifted over to the RUNE to maintain that 80-20 ratio.
But the yield from the TCY is being collected and is being compounded inside the yRUNE. Yeah. Okay, cool. And you said yTCY, and that isn't that yTCY is 80% TCY and 20% RUNE, right?
Yeah, so it's almost a mirror token of what the yRUNE's doing.
Okay. And so why did you choose yRUNE instead of yTCY?
I think launching on THORChain, we wanted to. So initially, with the idea of backing value by RUNE, we didn't want to devolve or diverge too much from that plan. We feel like there's an immense value in RUNE as a token, especially long term. So with prices here, it's like let's hoover up as much RUNE backing. Let's make sure holders benefit from that growth in the token. TCY, I think, personally, I hold a bunch of it as well. I think it's a very valuable angle as well. But I think, having that yRUNE, having a bit more exposure to the network effects that Rujira will have on RUNE price specifically versus just the TCY and the revenue model will benefit holders much more in the long run.
Okay, cool. So then, so how does it work? So like if somebody, like people are going to buy these NFTs and whatever money, like if I spend $1,000 to buy an NFT, am I going to have now $1,000 of yRUNE? Like how is that all going to work?
So there, as of launch, there's I guess a breakdown into our Litepaper if people want to dig more into it. So initially, it's going to be about 20% of the mint cost is going to be going into backing. So there's going to be 20% going there. There's a portion going into RUNE bond, into Rujira. So we're kind of divvying it into these different pools. So there's going to be DeFi, there's going to be bonded, there's going to be Rujira staking, and then there's going to be the backing. Then the rewards that kind of generate from there. So say 15% of everything that's generated on the bonded RUNE also gets converted into yRUNE to increase that backing. 15% of the Rujira that is earned through staking, or the USDC that's earned through staking, that part will go into yRUNE backing. So the as well as the yRUNE gaining value over time compared to RUNE, there's going to be more going into that backing all the time as well.
Okay, so of my $1,000, $200 is going to go into yRUNE right away. The other 800 is going to be split between going into pools and bond providing. And then the yield from those is going to be used to buy more yRUNE to add to my backing. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say that's correct. And but also a portion of that yield will be paid out regularly. So we want to also distribute a portion of the RUNE that's generated through the bond, as well as a portion of the Rujira that's generated through the staking to holders as well. So we plan to do those distributions monthly.
What if a holder doesn't want the distributions and wants to keep compounding? Keep it in or just use it to buy more yRUNE or whatever. Would they be able to do that?
That's definitely something we can look at. I think this was initially how we envisioned things, but we're also flexible to respond to the community. At the end of the day, the project's goal is to build and foster community, to contribute back to the ecosystem. And if this is something the community wants to do, this is definitely something we're going to pursue.
So that sounds pretty cool, but how do you get paid? You're not doing this for free.
No. So again, I guess the front end, there is a small portion of the mint that will go to the artist and myself for the setup and the rollout. But otherwise, it's some NFTs. I'm going to have NFTs, and the revenue that generates is going to, I'm going to get rewards off that. And then we have a small 10% performance fee, but I'm going to dial that in. Like initially, I'm probably just going to say, leave it be, let it go. Over time, I want to make sure we reinvest and let things build, and then at some point we'll turn on it that 10% performance fee and have a little bit of revenue coming in that way. But I think to properly build a business, I don't want to extract value, from the get go.
Yeah. Okay, so will your NFTs be able to trade at a premium then? Like let's say everyone falls in love with the art. It's amazing. Art can trade at crazy value, crazy prices. If you're yRUNE and everything backing a token, let's say it's only worth $1,000, and these NFTs trade for 5,000 and 10,000 and whatever. Like, can they trade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how's that going to work? Is it, like there's gonna be a secondary market for these NFTs that people can trade whatever price they want?
Yes, yeah. So we're going to when Rujira NFT Marketplace goes live, we'll launch the secondary market and have them trading there. And I mean, the hope is, again, there'll be this inherent back value that will grow over time to create a kind of a naturally rising floor for the token. But again, like you said, with art, people see different things, they value different things. In Galactic Mining Club, we have certain people who are valuing more female characters, or they want a certain color, or they want a certain specific look to the NFTs they get. So we're that'll be available there, and then our also goal is part of what we've included in the art is various traits. So we've picked a number of protocols and projects that are launching or have launched on THORChain that are part of the larger ecosystem, that we hope to have further discussions with to see if we can kind of build in some additional utility or benefit to the people who hold those specific traded NFTs.
Cool. Are these NFTs, are they going to live on like THORChain? They're going to be a THORChain based token? Are they Ethereum based? on? Like how? Yeah, how you
Uh,
guys?
the,
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, this was always envisioned as a Rujira project, so it'll be live on THORChain. We're not going to launch the collection until the Rujira marketplace is fully launched, which we know there is a bit of a delay in. So we've kind of developed a bit of a contingency for the meantime, but you know, for the actual collection, it's not going to be launched until the marketplace goes live, whether it's later this year or early 2026.
Okay, cool. So do we like how is like what wallets would we need to use to have to be able to hold your NFTs and view them? Like how will that work?
So we're still waiting for some details, of course, how Rujira is going to implement their marketplace. We're going to assume any THORChain connected wallet will, support and be able to have the NFTs viewable. I know with Thor guards and things like that on Ethereum, you can view them in multi-sig, and Kepler as well has the ability to view NFTs and things like that at times, I believe. So there is definitely, or not Kepler, sorry, Leap. So I mean, the goal, yeah, definitely will be able to have them visible in wallet, work with any THORChain supported wallet, and tradable that way. So in seeing what Rujira has been building, I don't anticipate them to make it any more complicated for the NFT marketplace versus any other DApp that they're building.
Would somebody be able to, like, let's say I have a Keystore wallet, pretty basic, right? And I can maybe hold the NFT there, but I can't see it. Would I be able to like go to your website and connect my Keystore to your site and then be able to see the NFT there?
Yeah, so that's definitely we're definitely hoping to build that piece out there in terms of connecting the site. We can have galleries and things like that pretty quick. Again, I'm working with the Fadon's VIP guys on the Dex front end. So the more we can build into to that interface and to flesh out that website to have like the gallery being able to see the NFTs in that route, I think that'll be our ultimate goal.
Okay. And you mentioned Ruji Marketplace. Is that going to be like OpenSea? What? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're building their own NFT marketplace. I know there has been some delays because initially we were kind of thinking we would be able to launch last month. But I know the team I've had some discussions with them on the backside. I know they've got some things to announce, including there's potential they're looking at a different NFT standard. So of course, if they're looking at a specific special NFT standard that can have other perks or benefits, or that could make some of the goals we have in mind easier, then we definitely want to embrace that.
Cool. Are there other teams? Do you know if there's any other teams working on NFTs, or are you guys the only one?
I've heard that there is a collection or two internally that are being looked at. I also know like the liquidity guys that when they were Manta DAO, they had the Manta squad over on Stargaze. So some of these collections I'm kind of anticipating will migrate over to the Rujira marketplace once it is live.
Cool. Patriot, I've been kind of hogging the conversation. Did you want to jump in and ask
No,
anything?
actually, I think you're asking all the right questions, man. And I was learning as you were going, so I think that's pretty. I can't actually think of any other questions. I think you covered it all. Maybe we should get into showing some art. I mean, I know the audience is going to see, so maybe it's best if we just kind of, we can have in the background talk more about this stuff, and then people can maybe see the video later and look for themselves, probably.
Yeah. Hey, Corey, you want to share your screen? Show us some of these?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry guys in the space, you're not gonna be able to see this, but we'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, this is the evolution of spaces. We're going to try and level up
Yeah.
here. What are some possible, because I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to NFTs. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Like, do you see any foreseeable like utility use case beyond what we talked about with NFTs, or maybe the sky's the limit given Rugira's infrastructure of possible things that we can use in NFTs for?
Yeah, I mean, I think as the technology grows, we're really seeing, that NFTs can be used in, any kind of way that a traditional token would be. It's, over on Neutron in the Cosmos, they're doing, NFT fractionalization where you can LP your tokens. So you know divide an NFT into so many parts and put it in an LP and generate fees in that way. So I think as the technology advances, you know, when NFTs first launched and it was kind of Bored Ape Yacht Club, it was it was a picture and people got into these communities and the communities grew around it. But as time goes on, we're seeing more and more. You know what? It's people love the art, but they want more than the art. They want utility, whether it's NFTFi, whether it's again having perks or benefits for having specific NFTs. People don't want to invest money in something that they're not going to see a return on investment from.
So these things are pretty freaking cool, you guys. They're very masculine, I would say. There's also the girls on there. These girls look tough too. Like if you took this girl on a date and she started like picking food off your plate, started eating in front of you, you wouldn't reciprocate. I mean, you know what I mean? You just like, okay, you're in charge. You know what I'm saying? These are
She would take you on a date. I'm pretty sure.
exactly. Yeah, she would
Yeah.
pick me up at 5 p.m. and then drop me off at 6 p.m. 100%. Yeah, she's driving. You know what I mean? Yeah.
These are pretty cool. So these are like, did you guys like hand draw these or are they AI generated?
So IBC Mafia does AI art. He's been kind of refining his. I'll stop sharing now. That was the last one we come through. I went through every sample I had. So he's been kind of refining.
Leave some of them up. Yeah, let's keep. People don't want to look at our faces. Let's look at the art.
Perfect. Let's get through that. Yeah, like I definitely think that there's. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. IBC Mafia. So he's been kind of refining his prompts. I think that there hasn't really been art like his that I've seen in terms of the AI generated. I think Galactic Mining Club really still stands kind of as his pinnacle. There again, like I said, I've been looking at these pictures for 4.5 years, or for a year and a half. Sorry, my God. Looking at art now and getting myself all distracted. I've been looking at GMC images for a year and a half, and I'm still seeing brand new ones. So I think he's kind of taken in a different direction, and what I'm seeing so far with Einherjar is much the same. He's continuing to refine his model, and one of the things we wanted to do is, his first question was, are we just going to do a PFP collection? So I kind of said, you know what, like there's 1,000,001 PFP collections out there. So yeah, we're going to have some that'll be great as profile pictures, but have at it, go have fun with it, do full body, do scenery, do whatever you want to do. So I'm excited to see kind of what he's come up with.
What would be really fun? We got to make specific THORChain theme ones. Big French Chad. You ever follow French Chad? How the guy like works out and like his physique, like he looks like an animal. You know what I mean? I wonder if we could get like those. They have to be worthy though. You can't have like some really big, not out of shape person. I wonder if those who work out, it might be a good incentive to get people to work out. If you want to be an NFT, start hitting the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and we are kind of doing that to a degree, doing some honorary NFTs and putting some names on them for some people that are big in the community and big in the larger ecosystem.
This is pretty good for AI art. I would, if you would have told me these were hand drawn or like you created them yourselves, I would have believed you. It doesn't, to me anyway, it doesn't jump out. Like some AI art is pretty obvious. This doesn't look obvious to me.
These are fantastic, yeah. Especially like the old man. I mean, you can't see it now, but he had like a headband. He looked like a Willie Nelson, Nordic Willie Nelson, that just doesn't take any nonsense. You know what I mean? He was all about war instead of peace. I really like that one. So I'm really excited for people to watch him.
I like this. I like that one. You go back to the girl. She's got like just a hint of a grin, hint of a smirk. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that's in control of the date right there. You know what I mean? She's like, yeah, I'm the daddy here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Corey,
absolutely.
I think actually what kickstarted getting you onto this space was I replied to one of your posts of a video. You had like an animation of one of these, like really cool. Do you have any? Do you remember what I'm talking about? Do you have any of those animations you can show us?
Yeah, let me stop sharing really quick just to see if I can find it, because I know
What's really
see if I can
cool
grab.
is since you're looking for something, you just go ahead and share when you can. This would be a really cool tech to eventually mix with the NFA technology that they're building over on NFA, right? Where you can convert your NFT into an agent that actually has AI incorporated into it to do tasks. So, that's a new technology too. But you guys, it's going to be super exciting to see where all this goes, particularly with Jira, all the things the community wants. I mean, really, the sky is the limit when it comes to not only what's possible, but then utility. Very
Patriot,
exciting.
your mic, I feel like it's muffled. I'm not able to hear you very
Yeah,
well. Same for you, Corey?
yeah, it's a
Oh,
little
shoot,
bit much
okay.
for sure.
What
Yeah,
about now?
that's much better.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I'll fix it. Sorry about that, guys.
There you go. That's better.
This is
Yeah.
the one you're talking. That was the animation there you were talking about.
Yeah. And maybe because when it was on Twitter, is much smoother. Maybe because we were on the video call and the leg and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's it's
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. So is that just like you guys are just something you're just advertising, or is this what the actual NFTs will look like too?
This is just advertising. This is something that one of the community members developed. Actually,
Okay.
she just kind of threw it together and said, "Hey, take a look at these. If you like them, do something with them."
Yeah, right on. So well, good kudos, sir. It's a great idea. It was really cool. Good job. Um, so these NFTs then, are they going to be limited, unlimited? How are you doing that?
So we're
How many are they
looking
going to be?
to. So there's going to be 3,333 is the total number. There's some significance to the number 33 in Norse mythology. So again, we're kind of keeping with that theme. So I guess we're kind of at a bit of a crossroads, like I mentioned, with the Rujira marketplace. So we've kind of envisioned a way to try to at least get the ball rolling a little bit, so that we can embrace kind of, again, as the marketplace heats up. But yeah, no, there'll always just be that hard cap, and when people claim and the backing and things like that, they'll be withdrawn from the marketplace.
Cool. So the numerology there too, you got 4 3s. That adds up to 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So you're really sticking with the 3 numerology.
Yeah.
What is the significance? Can you tell us?
Oh man, I'd have to go back in my notes. There was one. I know a lot of the history, but I don't know off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Okay. We need numerologists. We got any numerologists in the crowd? There's got to be someone. Should we Patriot, I haven't been paying attention to the actual space. Do we have anybody's requested to come up to speak? Do we
Yeah,
have
I haven't been
any?
paying attention either. Let me see. Yeah, we do have one. Have Aftermath. I will go ahead and improve that right now. Very good. And if anyone wants to come up, please feel free. This is a fun project. It's more like it's community based, right? Like it's really cool. I mean, this is how we build the ecosystem is we just make really cool things and it just attracts, people, right? So I think these things are awesome. And I'm really excited for people to see this recorded live stream. This may be really
Mhm.
cool. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone, by the way. Please, guys, share the space. Let's get this out here. Like, this is the very beginning of just something truly special. I mean, there's just so many teams now that are working on so many projects. I can't keep up. Like, when I came up on this space, like, I was largely uninformed, and I'm trying to be informed. That's just how much is going on. It's crazy.
So Corey, these are just sitting on your computer. You don't have these live on a website or anything like that.
No, not currently. These are just a bundle that I was sent kind of as samples that are kind of work in progress. There's definitely going to be some minor changes, but yeah, these are kind of just some samples that the artist sent me. I am still waiting on final collection so we can get them up.
Okay. And when you launch, are people going to be able to actually choose the specific images they like, or is it going to be uh, like buying a package of hockey cards? Like you don't know what you're going to get until you open it.
Basically, it's gonna be like buying a package of hockey cards. Yeah. So typically with NFT mints, it's yeah, kind of almost like the candy machine, right? You dump all the NFTs kind of in the top like you would a bunch of gumballs, and then you just crank the wheel, and whatever you get, you get. So that kind of again creates a little bit of um, you know heat on the secondary, because you're going to see something you really like, and try to nab it, try to get something that really fits your feeling. And again, with some of these names and things like that we're going to be putting on them, there might be people that want to have the NFT with their name on it.
And is it going to be like, I remember with Thor guards, they kind of had like, I don't know, like some of them were like better quality, or I don't know how you say it, like, had more features than others. And I think it might have depended on how much you paid, you would get better quality one. Are you looking at doing the same, or is like every NFT here is going to be the exact same quality, and it really is a lottery which one you get?
So there will be like a rarity scale based on a number of traits and things like that. Again, we're being a little more loose with them this time than some previous collections, because I think, again, the art really speaks for itself, and so we'd rather just have people kind of say, you know what, I like the way that one looks, I'm gonna buy that. But yeah, like we'll have some rarity. Again, the named ones, there's only, as of right now, I think there's only about 100 names, so they're going to be one of 3,333. Some of the traded ones, there's only going to be 50 to 100 of those. So again, they're going to be some very rare segments or sub collections within the larger collection.
When you say only 100 names, so you're going to have the same name will be recycled with some different images? Is that, did I get that right?
No. So what we're going to do there, actually, so there's, again, like I mentioned, there's the honorary names for people that are kind of working in the ecosystem. But then we also been having an ongoing ability for people to purchase names to have on an NFT. So each of those names will be just on a singular NFT and no others. So again, that'll be kind of a one for that particular trade. It'll be a 1 in 3,333, which will make that NFT much more rare, say, than ones without. And any ones that we don't have names for are just going to be unnamed.
Okay. And by names in the ecosystem, you mean you're going to have like a Corey, like this guy, he's going to have a Corey name attached to him, and there's going to be one with Denny. Is that what you mean?
In essence, like we've picked some individuals, like of course we had JP Thor, we had JP Nami, we've got yourself, we've got Denny, more so Patriot Sounds, kind of the names are familiar with. We've picked some individuals from THORChain, from Rujira, Maya, Mocha. I mean, you name a project, and we've probably got somebody that we picked off of it. Validators, just people who are contributing. Try to little bit of tip of our hat to the people who've kind of come before and built the larger ecosystem.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for thinking of me. Makes me look forward to this now even more. Yes. Cool. Do we?
I think this is cool because, like, if it's about on other projects that are developing, like, as I'm sure a lot of these projects are going to take off, I think that would definitely help the value of that NFT, of course, if it's associated with a certain product. So I guess this is the time, guys. Like, if you're interested in this, like, if when those themes come out, is gobble up the project that you have the most confidence in, because that's it.
Well, absolutely.
Did we have
like I mentioned,
Aftermath? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Corey.
No, I was gonna say, and the hope is, like, if you like, again, if you like Mocha, or if you like Maya, the hope is that we'll be able to build a network with those teams and come with, hey, if you hold that NFT, you get this kind of a benefit or that kind of a benefit. So again, you're supporting the teams you like, but you're also getting something out of it for yourself as well.
Let's do a prediction. I would say, Kenton, you're going to be really valuable. I probably won't be that valuable. I would say Alex, though, would be really, really up there. You know what I'm saying? I just have a feeling that our Mexican savior is going to be high on the valuation. That's what my gut says. What do you think?
Would it be sacrilegious to have some kind of Aztec imagery mixed with Norse? Is that
I think
Alex?
we could make an exception for Alex, and that would probably add to the value, right? Of course. Well,
Yeah.
like Nordic, they did land. I'm not an historical expert on this, but they did actually come to. I don't think they went down south of to around that area. But hey, I mean, they were technically in the zip code, right? So there you go. So it makes
Well, I
sense.
mean, I'm in Newfoundland. There's a Norse encampment probably about 7.5 hours away from me, actually.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, That's right, man. Yeah, the Vikings settled Newfoundland like it was like 1,000 years before Columbus came or
Yeah,
something
Yeah,
like that. Like,
yeah, something
y-
like that. I can't
y-
remember.
yeah. The it's mistaken point is the location is on the very tip of the island, and they actually just found a second settlement probably about an hour away from me, closer inland towards kind of between where Newfoundland and it hits the mainland.
cool. Um, Dude, no, I forgot. I noticed that on your profile. You're from Newfoundland. I was gonna say I'm from Alberta, from Calgary. Um,
Oh, okay. I grew up in Fort McMurray.
uh, well, Fort McMurray is like the second Newfoundland. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you upgraded leaving Fort Mac, going back home. Then, imagine it's much prettier where you're at now. Okay, Fort Mac isn't that. It's just
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say it's not that bad up there, but
And they've been working on it.
yeah, yeah. Um, I used to work in Cold Lake, a little bit of work up there, and so I kind of I've never actually been to Fort Mac. I just know of it. Um, so well, yeah, guys, the reason you're curious, we're Canadians joking. So Fort McMurray is that's where the oil sands are in northern Alberta, and there's a ton of Newfoundlanders come out there to
Mhm.
work. Like a lot of in the oil industry, there's a lot of it's kind of like seasonal work. You get a lot of transplants, people kind of from all over the country, but it's tons of Eastern Canadians, Maritimers go to Fort McMurray to work. So I'd say there's got to be more of you there than Albertans. Um,
Y- y- Oh yeah. At least half my town is in Alberta 2 weeks of the year or 2 weeks of the month.
yeah,
They're just fly
yeah,
back and fly in, fly out.
yeah.
Could I shout out someone in the audience? So we have the lovely Crystal Buchanan in the audience, and I want you to know that I already mentioned the NFA angle here. Now I know that would probably take some doing, but I want you to know, Crystal, I'm pushing that everywhere, and we're really excited. So these are the very beginning steps, you guys. Where all these teams, like the crazy thing is, like I think of THORChain, Rujira, and all the surrounding ecosystems like a landscape, right? Much like how this is art, and then we're all just going to start painting, and really, it's just going to be incredible. All the different things that we're going to do. So, shout out to you. I'm really glad you're here. Thanks again.
Well, and yeah, it's funny because like I'm trying to say, I mean, we all agree art is we all find some art beautiful, right? Some people might not, this might not be their thing, but there's something else they like, right? Where there's something for everybody.
Mhm.
And I've always felt that, right now, like society, like we're all just basically scraping to survive. And if we actually, could get out of this, fiat treadmill and actually start building and growing wealth, the amount of free time and energy and resources we have will be incredible. And what are people going to do with their time and their wealth? They're going to put it into art. And so I think like I feel like we're on the verge of a second renaissance here where, you know, we get out of this malaise we're currently in, and the art that's going to come over the next 1 or 200 years is going to be absolutely mind blowing. And this is like the birth of, this kind of art, what you guys are working on is, we're at the very beginning of that. So
Mhm.
it's pretty cool to see.
That was so well said, Kenton. I think there's something to be said here when it comes to like this. There's a story to be told, right? And like art is one thing, like something can look cool, but it actually is really something when there's like a message behind it. And like, what is the story of our shared ecosystem? Whether you're, Mocha, Rujira, NFA, THORChain, right? It's a story of struggle and perseverance. And I think that's why you really nailed the aesthetic here, because all of the NFTs that we've seen, like they really tell a story of just like hardness, like determination and beauty at the same time. You know what I mean? I think you guys really nailed the aesthetic here, and I'm really excited to see. I think the community is going to absolutely love that because ultimately everything is a story of the human condition. And right, like what we're talking about with Alex. I mean, there is an incredible story there. So that's really cool, Kenton. I believe you are right. There's going to be a new renaissance, a spiritual reawakening as people now find hope in the technologies that we're building, right? That we are literally redesigning the economic architecture of the world, that we're going to empower the average citizen, every man, woman, and child, that kids will no longer be doomed to this fiat entrapment, right? We're doing this thing. And I really like this. This adds a whole other element, whole other angle that I think goes underappreciated. So I am so excited to see this go live, man. So kudos to you. I think this is awesome.
Your mic, Patriot, you gotta fix it again. You get it muffled. But totally, man. Like this is like when you guys like you go walk, you go traveling, you walk around and you see a church, right? And they're whether you're religious or not, you can't deny it's beautiful, right? And 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 people spent hundreds of years building that thing too, and it's standing the test of time. And it's really amazing when you stand back and think about it, right? And that's the way I view crypto and everything we're working on. Like we're building, we're on the frontier of the digital space, right? We're building a new digital empire, if you will. And this new financial system is going to last for hundreds of years, if not thousands. But can you imagine somebody 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, looking back on us, on our time, the same way we look back 500 or 1,000 years ago, right? And like, who were these people that built this? What was going on in their minds and what inspired them and whatnot? And your Corey, your art, your NFTs are going to help tell that story, right? And it's going to stand that test of time. It's going to be passed down, and hopefully, people are valuing these like we value Rembrandts and Van Goghs, right? And it's like, you know, a reminder of the past type thing, and honoring it. And I really do believe what crypto is working on, and THORChain in particular, is we are changing the world. And it's hard to get people to understand that today, but I think history is going to understand it very well, and they're going to look back on this and be like, who are these guys? And this will be a way for them to connect with us. So yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you both saying that. I think you're right. It's AI art kind of got slammed in the beginning, but I think as it evolves, and as Patriot said, like this doesn't look like AI art. I think just as much as what kind of canvas you're using or brush, like, AI is just another tool. You have to be able to use it the right way in order to make something beautiful. Where I can grab a paintbrush and an easel, and I'm not a Van Gogh, but the people who know what they're doing, who have that skill, who have that artistic bone, be able to build these arts. I think you're right. Those are the ones that are going to stand the test of time, whether it's tangible or whether it's digital.
Well, even like look at the NFT project that came out last cycle, and that was like before AI. And you have 10,000 JPEGs are really all the same, just kind of slightly different or whatever. They just mass produced them. And like that's not, again, maybe that is art, right? To each their own. If people find beauty in it, great, right? But you can tell that you're genuinely trying to make each one unique. Like there's no, like they all look completely different. So
Yeah,
and it's not, yeah,
yeah, the
go
art.
ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, the artist. We've been talking a lot. He's just kind of really taken his time with this delay, and I mean, there's hundreds that he's thrown out. That's just he's having a standard, and he wants to make sure, again, like you said, everyone is unique. Everyone has that special something that's going to grab your attention. Not everyone is going to be for every single person, but there should be something there for everyone.
Yeah.
And I do apologize for the audio issues, guys. Trying something new. So hopefully, do I sound better? I just want to make sure.
That sounds much better.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I love it. I mean, again, what we're doing here, it's far more important than any market cap number, any price of any asset. We are literally redefining everything. And so, as you said, Kenton, I just love thinking about that. I mean, we're all going to be dead and gone one day. Life is very short. It's very precious. So give it all we got, right? And these will be like the remaining echoes. And hopefully people might hear maybe some of these spaces and the guests and some of the topics, and they'll understand like how hard this was and how many challenges and so much ambiguity. And we didn't know what was going to happen. And, you know, how razor thin the margin was between success and failure at times, right? I mean, we've had some very dramatic moments, but never did we ever once consider giving up, and we pushed forward. So I love this, man. This is great. You are building something really nice here, and it's just going to be super cool.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So did you bring up Aftermath? Did he?
Yeah,
wanna
he's
jump
a
in there, bud?
speaker. Yeah, go ahead, Aftermath.
I didn't have my hand up, but yeah, Godspeed. I'm trying to actually rack my brain to see, remembering that the studies show people are 1,000% more likely to show up when invited. So I'm kind of trying to reverse invite people and maybe encourage them to listen to the recording, and encourage everybody here to go back to the original posting on the THORChain account and quote post it, tag it, and retweet it from there, just for the laggards or the people that are still sleeping. Thanks for having me. Proud of you guys.
Thanks, bud. And
Thanks.
anybody else wants to come up, ask any questions, has any comments? I hope if you're listening to this space, and if you're just listening to the audio, you really got to jump on YouTube and check out, see what we're seeing right now. The art's pretty cool. Yeah. Corey, is there anything you wanted to go over or talk about that we haven't touched on?
Yes, I mean, I definitely wanted to, I guess, I alluded to earlier the week that we were going to have a contingency plan for the delay in the marketplace, so that we could, try to hit the ground running and start, building in the ecosystem and get things going before the market gets too hot. So I guess the big thing there is that we're going to be looking at doing a contingency mint in the Cosmos right now. We're kind of weighing which platform we're going to look at. And the way we're going to do this is it's going to be a singular open edition mint. So we had already announced we were going to do $30 whitelist price, $35 public mint. So what we're going to do with this contingency mint is we're going to say every NFT is $30. So it's the whitelist price. If somebody mints one of these contingency NFTs, the open editions, when we do launch on Rujira, we're going to airdrop Einherjar NFTs 1-to-1 for every open edition mint that you minted during this period. We're going to, that way at least it allows us to get NFTs into people's hands, start building that treasury, so we can bond RUNE, we can stake Ruji, and we can get things going and start generating rewards, and we'll just 100% compound rewards until the marketplace launches. Airdrop everybody their NFTs and then distribute the rewards to everybody at once.
Cool. Patriot, you get anything else you want to go over?
I was looking at comments and things like that. We have someone requesting here. Let me check that out. Trying to multitask here. Oh, we got Calc Finance. I'm going to bring them up. Awesome. Very good. So I'm going to bring them up. Let me see, maybe we have another request here. Okay, approve. It's not a speaker yet. Does anyone else see him as a speaker?
I saw
No,
Calc
I do want to.
request. No, he's still showing as a listener.
I'd like to.
Go ahead after.
I'd like to encourage Eric to come up.
I don't want to, let's not call people out in the audience. They may just want to eavesdrop. If they want to come up, they know how to request. I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
Calc is up. Awesome. Looks like Calc is here. How you doing, Calc? Go ahead and check your mic there.
Yes, guys. How are you? Everything fine?
Yeah, good, thanks. Is it late for you?
I'm not the same person as you had on the show last month. Different person. Last month you had Get Almighty on the show, but now you have someone else more marketing focused.
You're in Australia then, I take it.
Southeast Asia.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead, man.
Into the way. Yeah. I was thinking, so since we're very close to launching Calc, I thought about having a little chat here and give you guys an update. So we went to StageNet 1-2 weeks ago, and on StageNet we found that we had to do some improvements. We had to go back to some API upgrades, and kind of like back and forth, and also reviewing the code again. But that's all starting to finalize now, and it's looking very good. In the meantime, we haven't been doing nothing. We've been adding upgrades as well. So you're gonna have a couple more interesting swap features, so to say. And hopefully Code Hands from Rujira can upgrade the contracts to StageNet again. So thanks to the ability of Rujira team that they can upgrade the codes themselves. Because of this, we can move faster and hope. Yeah, so we've been saying this the last week as well, but hopefully now, early next week, for real, we can launch.
What does this have to do with Einherjar?
Sorry. This is an update about Calc.
Okay.
And because this is an open space, I wanted to share this with you guys.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, not related to the NFTs project.
Okay. Yeah, I want to respect
Although
Corey
we
and
may
his
be,
time. And yeah, go ahead, Corey.
I was saying, no worries. I said we may be in touch with the Calc team at some point in the future.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Could look super cool.
Great.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was like, that different type of technology with Calc. There's something you do on the NFT. That's what I say. Like, there's gonna be so many permutations of teams and capabilities. It's gonna be pretty wild. So thanks for the update, man. I appreciate it.
Cool. You're welcome.
Corey, can I, if I don't know if this sound bad or not, if I could make a request, could there be some with a little more grins? I love the one woman. She's got just a bit of a smirk. I'm like that. It's kind of like that devilish, like it's like I can mess you up, or I can have fun type thing. Like I don't know. I just love that look. Even some of the guys too. If your artist is looking for ways to tweak some of the characteristics, like just a little bit of a devilish grin, I think it totally changes the look as a new element.
Yeah, I like those too. You know what I mean? And just mixing up like that, because the facial expression is also pretty important too. But aesthetically, these are dynamite.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's say, are you playing with anything like there's the Norse, like the terms, the words, but there's lots of symbology too, like the tree. Was it the tree of life? What is it called? Yggdrasil tree? Is that what it's called? Like, and then you got Thor's hammer, and then you got rune, and all the, what's the alphabet that the R is from, stuff like that. It's a term. What are they called? Anyway, have you thought about introducing any of that kind of symbology into these NFTs?
Yeah, I mean, in talking with the artist, he's again very familiar with a lot of the mythology, and I mean, I think our first conversation about doing a THORChain based NFT collection was probably 12, 13 months ago. So I mean, he loves to embed that kind of stuff, the symbolism, kind of little Easter eggs into his art. I mean, we're going through GMC at times where we're seeing, different things inspired by movies or books or television, or little hidden images or text in NFT. So I'm sure just as much as he did it there or with some of his other collections, we're going to see a lot of that here as well, whether it's, some subtle symbology or text kind of embedded that you can kind of, translate and try to figure out what messages he's putting in there.
Cool.
And it's Elder Futhark is the language you're thinking of.
Elder, how do you say it again? Elder Futhark?
I think it's Elder Futhark. I might have that second word a little bit messed up.
Okay, right on. And like all these characters or people that you're showing, like They're random people. Like you're not trying to like one of these isn't Thor or Odin or anything like that. Or are you going to do that?
No, I believe it's just kind of the larger random people. It's not going to be anything inspired by a specific individual. But again, you might see some nods in different imagery to, you know, iterations of Thor or iterations of Odin or things like that. But there won't be any kind of direct, this is meant to be Thor, or this is meant to be this character.
Gotcha. Cool. Cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's hard because I think, man, you're pretty straightforward what's going on here. Again, I want to shout out the audience. If anyone has any questions or anything, you know, you can feel free to request. But this is really, really, really cool. I'm digging it, and I think we'll definitely need to do an update as you know we get closer, we get more of an idea when this is going to go final, because there's a lot of things go, you know, a lot of up in the air right now because so many things are happening simultaneously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that with the question mark on the marketplace right now, I know, like I said before, the marketplace, they were almost looking like a pilot style launch where you really wouldn't set a price, but based on demand and supply, you'd see kind of the price fluctuate. Again, with other NFT standards, I think there's a lot that the Rujira team is going to announce probably likely in the next few months. So yeah, we can definitely connect it and do an update closer to the mint time and when we have a lot of those details worked out.
So
Is there anything someone can do sorry, Kenton, anyone can do something preemptively, like they're super interested, should they DM you? What could you just give some guidance, like, hey, I definitely am interested in this? What can they do?
So I mean, definitely the best thing right now would be, you know, follow us on X. You can join the Galactic Mining Telegram. We're still talking about it. I have to spin one up for Einherjar as well. But yeah, they can then DM me on CTBot114 on X. Where, you know, like I said, we're gonna have some announcements around this contingency mint to get people involved, get the community building, and get stuff rolling out now in the next little bit. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for news and shoot me a DM if you're interested in getting involved, and I'll let you know what we can do.
I like this girl. I like the colors. So do you how many do you have made already? How close are you to the 3333 number?
My last conversation with IBC Mafia, he had said he had more than 4,000 completed, but he was kind of refining the last 250 to 300. So he's got about 3,000 locked right now.
Wow. Okay, so this is just a sample, what you're showing us.
Yeah, even I haven't seen the entire collection yet. I've been pestered on, but he had some personal matters that came up, unfortunately, in the last week or so. So hopefully I'll have updates now in the next week or two.
So actually, I just thought of something. Will the marketplace only show the NFTs that are for sale, or will it show all of them, like a gallery, and you'd be able to scroll through all of them and see, and it just whether they're for sale or not, that it'll tell you, but at least you can scroll through the whole collection and see it.
Yeah, basing it off of kind of my experience with other NFT marketplaces, you'll be able to scroll through to see the entire collection, but usually the ones that are for sale kind of populate to the top. You know, or you at least have the ability to kind of filter by what's for sale or filter by, you know, specific traits. Um, you know, I know, again, the exact features that they're going to build into the marketplace right now are kind of up in the air. But I mean, you know, I've seen, you know, the ability to do auctions, the ability to kind of just bid to send offers on NFTs that you like on different marketplaces. So, you know, I'm sure, again, the Rujira team, I got full faith that when it comes to it, they're gonna build a pretty feature rich platform.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, I could even just get lost scrolling through the gallery, just checking all these out. Cool. Yeah, be cool to see, man, when you guys are all done and everything's live.
We have a few speakers up now. I'm sorry, I don't know who was first. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to Holly Folly. Go ahead, check your mic.
Yeah, mic check. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about this collection. Been following Galactic Mining Syndicate and Fox's art for a long time, so I'm a big fan. And I was a little bit, you could tell that things are getting pushed back with the collection just because of the marketplace, which I'm happy Rujira is taking time to do it right. But I was just wondering, like when I heard Butt kind of say this is going to be kind of pre-launch with they're going to figure out a place you can buy kind of pre-tickets almost, and then I think I don't know if we're burning them or cashing in to finally get it in Rujira. It sounds like we can start buying these early. And I'm wondering, does that include like the Galactic? I know Galactic probably is asking this too, but there's going to be kind of the Galactic mining outpost side of this as well, where a little bit goes back to the Galactic mining side of things. Is that all like? I heard you say something about interest collecting, so that will be happening for the people who buy the pre art, or I don't know what I want to call it, like a pre-ticket or an NFT placeholder, we'll call it. Like, and then what kind of timeline are you looking at? I know you don't have exact numbers. Are we thinking this month and next month, or? But I'm really excited. Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to dig. So we're looking potentially, our two options right now are Stargaze or Superbolt. To be completely transparent, we're trying to see which one has the features that'll work best. But yeah, so essentially it'll be that. It'll be a kind of a pre-sale of an open edition mint. So I'll get IBC Mafia to do a really sick piece of art. You can mint as many of them as you want, but essentially one of those will give you one of these Einherjar NFTs when the time is right. So we'll have a process where you send in the open edition NFT with your THORChain address in a memo, and then we'll airdrop the Einherjar NFTs to your THORChain address when the collection does go live. So you can still invest, and the money that's raised through this pre-mint will go into, again, the same breakdown as in our Litepaper for bonding, for staking, for DeFi, and we'll start generating rewards that then we'll distribute on our first monthly rewards drop after the collection does go live, whenever that does occur.
Okay, so there'll be like a pot already kind of sitting in the collection when it goes live, and so that's excellent. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, awesome. We have another speaker, Galactic Mining. Go ahead.
Hello, guys. Good afternoon. So we're very proud of CBAT and IBC Mafia for getting this outpost out. I would like to say that not many people realize, but actually creating AI art is not as easy as it seems. Because yes, you can create art using AI, and then pretty much everything looks the same. But to elevate this and reach the level of IBC Mafia, it takes a lot of work, and you almost need to have an encyclopedic knowledge of your subject matter, the lore, and whatever it is you want to put into that AI art. And it requires a lot of effort, and it's good to see the way that he's refining and enhancing his prompts, especially for this collection. As to little Easter eggs and things like that, I am sure we will see many of those. I mean, I still look at the Galactic Mining collection, which I think it was like his flagship collection, and I still find something new to look at every day. And as to whether a figure can be suggestive and whatnot, I think we can leave that to the artist, and I think we will be very, very pleasantly surprised. And of course, I think that people will find things that they would like to purchase, especially in the secondary market, and that will actually also keep the secondary market stimulated. CBAT did mention that, well, Corey mentioned that, some people collect only a certain kind of an NFT with traits. For me, I mainly collect the females of the Galactic Mining Club. So, yeah, that was that's good for me. Overall, however, I would like to say congratulations to the team. From what we've seen so far, it's going to be another stellar collection, and I think the entire community is looking forward to the mint. You go, guys.
I think you brought up a really good point about, it's not as easy as it sounds to make art on AI. This is so different than, us looking at a painting. It's like, oh, well, that's just ink and a paintbrush on paper. What's the big deal, right? Well, actually, requires a lot of skill to be able to put that ink on that paper in an aesthetic pleasing way. And I think if I understand what you're saying, is it's no different than with AI. You have to have the right prompts and be able to explain it properly to get something beautiful to come out of it. And with AI being in its infancy, it's arguably like this is the AI is at its most clunky, cumbersome part right now, right? Is at the beginning. Give it 20 years and it'd be probably really easy, to create maybe this kind of art type thing. But right now it's really hard. And that is part of what gives it some value and some like makes it interesting, right? So yeah, I totally get it.
I heard a good saying once, and I think it really stuck with me, is that when you see a piece of AI art, that is the worst AI art will ever be, because it's constantly iterating, it's constantly getting better. Every day, the rate at which it's the video and the imagery is changing. Um, so it's definitely a very cutting edge at this stage.
I
So
suppose
in theory, in essence, you think these early versions of the AR you would think would be the most appreciated because of how hard it is. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Patriot.
Absolutely.
Well, what I was going to say is if you have an old, well, okay, so it's new now, but let's say 20 years from now, and to give your example precisely, Kenton, if you have art that is beautiful from this era, I think that might give it a little bit of a more value. Like this is art that was created with AI technology that was in its infancy. So, to be able to make something like this is beautiful. I agree. It's not easy at all. And, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's hard to think of the market dynamics exactly, but yeah, I totally agree with you guys are saying, and like I said, this is really really interesting.
It's almost like comparing, like, if you look at furniture and stuff from like hundreds of years ago, apparently the reason they made like really ornate and beautiful um, chairs and dressers and stuff like that is because they had nothing else to do. Like they during the winters they'd be inside the whole time and like, okay, let's just make this awesome piece, turn this bookshelf into an awesome piece of art type thing. But it's all handcrafted, right? And whereas now today, you could probably create the same thing on a CNC machine, but does it really have that same cachet, that same value? Like we all want handmade stuff. We all value that handmade armoire that was built, a few hundred years ago versus the CNC replica that we could create today, right? Because we know what went into it and there's like history behind it. So that could be. I don't see why that'd be any different with AI art created today versus decades from now.
That's a good point. One thing that comes to my mind is I was prospecting one time many years ago, and we were on the side of a mountain down a wash, looking for places where you can find gold, where the water would travel, and we were just classifying some material, so taking big chunks of rocks and dirt and stuff and classifying it, meaning you're just making the dirt so you can run it later. And as I was shaking the bucket, I had a Native American arrowhead just come right to the surface. And for me, like when you go to like a rock shop, or you look at any Native American arrowhead, part of my brain is like, is that real? Like, is that someone making an imitation, or is that really like a Native American arrowhead, right? And so like it's perfectly said, Ken. Like when you know that something's old and it's real, like when I got that mountain, like there's no doubt in my mind this is a find, and it was in the wild, and I found it, and how it made me feel was extremely impactful. And there is no way I would ever get that same impact by buying something that could be an imitation or a replica, even if they say it's real. It's like it doesn't have that hit. So exactly, I thought what you said there made a lot of sense.
You need to attach an
Go,
NFT to your arrowhead.
I was just saying, go buy your wife a lab grown diamond ring and see how she feels.
Dude, wife, I'm on THORChain. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm married to this protocol. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have time for girls.
Yeah, this is a guy that kicks 2 girls out of his bedroom. Don't remember?
Yeah, they don't know anything about
So
THORChain. I don't. Yeah, get the hell out. You know what I mean? You don't know what DEX aggregation is? Yep, I got no time for you. It's what it is.
We kind
That's funny.
of the speaker. I forget. Sorry, didn't hear your name. We kind of jumped in and started talking. Do you have more? Did you want to add? Was it Gala?
No.
No.
So I don't know whether you were referring to me or not, but
Yes.
I am Consi, so I'm part of the Galactic Mining Club, the GMC Council. And like some final remarks, I mean, we also need to consider that the arrowhead or an older Chesterfield chair, they were made with also quite primitive materials, and they still and tools, and they still withstand the test of time. And I think that's quite impactful. I mean, maybe a few years from now, you can create AI art by not even inputting any prompts. So you visualize something in your head, and somehow this will be connected with with a computer, and then whatever you visualize or you manifest, it might actually turn up and become an NFT, whilst now you actually need to put the work in with the right prompts and refine those prompts to do it. So I think it's you know I think it's quite interesting and quite exciting, this like juncture, if we can call it that we are at right now. But yeah, I think the art is very, very good. It's brilliant, and it's quite impactful.
Totally agree. I mean, excellent points.
There is someone requesting to come up, but I don't know why. Let me see who it is again. It is Oyster. I'm sorry, I've been trying to get you to come up. I'm not gatekeeping here. It's not accepting you. So I maybe drop down, leave the space, rejoin, and I can try and get you up. Sorry about that.
What about who's Holly Full? I see as a speaker.
That was they spoke before.
Already answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah, all the speakers have
Oh,
chatted.
it's already been up. Okay. Yeah, sorry, is I'm paying attention to our video call more than I am my phone on the space. Okay, so let me. I see a request picture. Let me see if I can bring them up.
Yeah, that's Oyster.
Oyster Cage Initiative. Let me try you. Maybe I have the magic touch. I can hear you.
I hear you.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm looking forward to the mint. Y'all are talking about older tools and stuff. It just reminds me, I'm looking at this back deck I'm working on my house, and it was built in 1914. So the 2x4s are actually 2x4 versus I don't know if y'all know what new lumber looks like, but it just doesn't it's not the same size anymore.
Yeah, a 2x4 is actually nowadays is actually 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches, right?
Yeah.
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 Have you seen there's some guy, some contractor, he's videoing himself at Home Depot and he's freaking out because he bought some 2x4s, and I think the standard length of a 2x4 is supposed to be, oh gosh, I think it's what is wait a second, what is 8 times 12?
It's like
8 times
98 inches.
96 inches.
Yeah.
And he bought 2x4s that were like 92 inches long or something like that. Because he's freaking out because he's building a shed and he's like, why isn't this isn't fitting? What is going on? And because the length, he measured everything assuming the length was 96 inches and went to Home Depot and they're like 92 inches or something. They're selling them shorter now, and he was freaking out. I found it. I don't know why Home Depot is doing that, but it was really odd that they would just change the size that everybody is so used to, because you do build around that. Anyway, funny anecdote. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, that's a big mistake on their part. Also, Home Depot's wood is good to be laid on the ground versus Lowe's wood isn't meant to be laid on the ground if you were building.
What do you mean laid on the
Okay.
ground? Like it's treated? You mean like getting wet, or what do you mean?
Yeah, but it's not necessarily considered salt treated. It's just a different like grade of wood. So yeah, you would use it on. It would perform better versus Lowe's wood on the shed down low near the ground.
Gotcha. So your deck that was built over 100 years ago, is it still in solid shape? Like have you had to keep it up, maintain it, repair it, or anything like that? Or does it still look as good as the day it was built?
I mean the rafters and I guess they're 4x6x8 are all solid. I mean everything's huge wood. We're gonna do an addition out here, and we're actually just gonna reuse the wood instead of replacing it with new smaller 2x4s.
Nice. And I imagine that deck was probably built with does it have some character to it? Or is it just like a rectangle?
Well, it was a screened in back porch off of the house.
Gotcha.
So I would say that the shingles behind it have character. 3 layers of shingles. You got siding, then you have asbestos shingles, and then you have wood slat shingles.
Are you telling anybody about the asbestos, or are you just going to get rid of it on your own?
I'm just gonna get rid of it on my own. It's been for that long. It's what are we looking at? 20 square feet of siding. You hose it down real good while you remove it. You bag it up in a black bag, you take it to the dump. They put it back in Mother Earth, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Wear your COVID mask while you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, cool, man.
I heard my question answered kind of, but I was curious again on the numbers of how many could you mint whitelisted, and the price was $30 versus how many you can mint public at $35 versus the pre-tickets, which I believe is going to be an unlimited number you could get, and also at $30, so same as whitelist.
Yeah, that's right. So the pre-mint essentially, yeah, we're gonna do unlimited. The whitelist, the goal was to do a limit of 5 per whitelist address, and then unlimited on the public side.
Okay, so both of those are going to be public, so that's cool. Awesome. That answers my question.
Well, thanks, Oyster. Glad we got you up.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Well, guys, what do you think? Should we start wrapping it up here? Anything else you want to go over, Patriot, Corey?
I think we're pretty comprehensive. I'm curious to know the quality. I've been experimenting while we're on the live stream, see how things go. So we'll see how it all turns out, and I'll modify some things. I know I had struggled with audio problems. I do apologize to everybody. Kind of learning on the fly. But we're gonna work it all out. But this has been great, man, and I am so excited. I think the faster we end the space, the faster we can get that video out there, right? So people can actually see what you're doing, because it's only half a show right now. So this looks sick, Corey. You guys are doing amazing stuff. I congratulate you on what you've made so far. Really, really cool.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I'm excited for everybody to get eyes on this. I agree. I think, and again, I want to thank you guys for having me on to talk about this, and making it kind of the first video spaces that you're doing. I mean, I think, like you said, it's only half an episode without seeing the art and seeing what IBC Mafia has built. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Yeah, we'll have to do this again once you guys are fully launched. Patriot, you want to wrap us up? Oh, I can't hear you. Maybe I'll wrap us up here. All right, everybody, thanks for coming. It's been great. These spaces are for you. So if you have any topics, things you want to talk about, ideas, let us know. If you're a project you'd like to come up, reach out to us. We're always looking for some content. Next week we've got Eric from Mocha. Mocha is launching, so he's going to tell us all about it. Week after that, September 27th, we got Hands and Hands Only from Rujira. So come pick his brain. And then after that, we got Chad Barraford on October 4th. And that'll be a great chat with him, version update 3.11 should be live, so it'll be great to hear from him about it. And on October 11th, we've got the Litecoin community penciled in. So yeah, lots of to go here the next few weeks. As always, great chatting with everyone, and look forward to talking to you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.